Types of drugs. Antacids. Overproduction of hydrochloric acid in the stomach causes irritation and pain. In severe cases, ulcers are produced in the stomach. Serious ulcers can be life-threatening and the only treatment was removal of a part of the stomach. Until 1970, only treatment of acidity was taking antacids. Thus, substances which neutralizes the excess acid and raise the pH to an appropriate level in stomach are called antacids. The most common used antacids are weak bases such as sodium bicarbonate, magnesium hydroxide, magnesium carbonate, magnesium trisilicate, aluminum hydroxide gel, and aluminum phosphate. However, excessive bicarbonate can make the stomach alkaline and trigger the production of even more acid. So, ultimately acidity will increase rather than to be cured. A major breakthrough in the treatment of hyperacidity came through the discovery that histamine stimulates the secretion of pepsin and hydrochloric acid. Therefore, the drug cimetidine, also known as Tagamet, was designed to prevent the interaction of histamine with the receptor present in the stomach wall. As a result, less hydrochloric acid is released and the problem of hyperacidity can be solved. So here cimetidine or Tagamet works as antagonist or inhibitor to histamine. This is the structure of cimetidine. The importance of cimetidine was so much that it remained the largest selling drug in the world until ranitidine Zantac was discovered. Recently, omeprazole and lansoprazole have also been used as antacids. These also prevent the formation of acid in stomach. Antihistamines. Histamine is a potent vasodilator. It has various functions. It contracts the smooth muscles in the bronchi and gut and relaxes other muscles such as those present in the walls of fine blood vessels. This is the structure of histamine. As a result, histamine causes allergy, skin rashes, inflammation of tissues, asthma that causes difficulties in breathing, and itching of hives. It also causes nasal congestion with common cold. The drugs which interfere with the natural action of histamine by competing with histamine for binding sites of receptor where histamine exerts its effect are called antihistamines. So, antihistamines are inhibitor to histamine, or you can say antihistamines are antagonist molecules. These are widely used for the treatment of hay fever, conjunctivitis, that is inflammation of conjunctiva of eye, seasonal rhinitis, inflammation of nasal mucosa, that is sneezing nasal discharges, itching of eyes, nose and throat, motion sickness through air, sea or road travel, nausea in pregnancy and post-operative vomiting. The antihistamines are widely used are brompheniramine and terfenadine. Some other antihistamine drugs which are also popular are diphenylhydramine, cetirizine, chlorpheniramine, promethazine, etc. A major question which comes to our mind is that why do antihistamines do not affect the secretion of hydrochloric acid in stomach? Why? Because histamine has two functions. One, just now we have seen, that is causing the allergy, and the second we have already completed, that it creates the secretion of hydrochloric acid in stomach. So if we send a molecule externally, that is antihistamine can interfere with both the functions, but the receptors associated with both the functions are not equally distributed in our body. So different antihistamines will work on different receptor molecules and control both the biochemical reactions separately. The reason being that anti-allergic and anti-acid drugs act on different receptors. Neurologically active drugs. Tranquilizers and analgesics are neurologically active drugs. They affect the message transfer mechanism from nerve to receptor. Tranquilizers. Drugs which are used for the treatment of stress, fatigue, mild and severe mental diseases are called tranquilizers. They relieve anxiety, stress, irritability, or excitement by including a sense of well-being. They are also essential components of sleeping pills. Tranquilizers are of many types and they work by different mechanisms. For example, noradrenaline is one of the several neurotransmitters which play an important role on mood changes. If the level of noradrenaline in the body is low for some reasons, then the message transfer process becomes slow and the person suffers from depression. In such cases, antidepressant drugs are used. These drugs inhibit the enzymes which catalyze the degradation of noradrenaline. If the enzyme is inhibited, then the neurotransmitter noradrenaline is slowly metabolized and can thus activate the receptor for longer periods, thereby counteracting the effect of depression. In other words, depression is reduced or cured. Two important antidepressant drugs are iproniazid and phenelzine. Chlordiazepoxide and meprobamate are relatively mild tranquilizers and are used for relieving tension. You can see their structures. Equanil is used in controlling depression and hypertension. Some other substances used as tranquilizers are Valium and serotonin. Barbituric acid and its 5,5-disubstituted derivatives such as veronal, luminal, seconal, and nembutal constitute an important class of tranquilizer called barbiturates. They are used as hypnotics. They are sleep-producing agents. Reserpine, which is an alkaloid isolated from the Indian plant Rauwolfia serpentine, is also a powerful tranquilizer. It is also known as Serpacil. It slows down the pulse rate and lowers the blood pressure. These are the structures of Equanil, Valium, and serotonin. Analgesics. Drugs which reduce or abolish pain without impairment consciousness, mental confusion, incoordination or paralysis or some other disturbance or disorder of the nervous system are called analgesics. These are classified into two important categories: non-narcotic that is non-addictive drugs, and narcotic, that is addictive drugs. Non-narcotic, that is non-addictive analgesics. Aspirin, that is 2-acetoxybenzoic acid, and paracetamol, that is 4-acetamidophenol, are the most important examples of non-addictive analgesics. You can see their structures. Aspirin inhibits the synthesis of compound known as prostaglandins, which stimulate inflammation in the tissues and causes pain. These drugs are quite effective in relieving skeletal pain and such as that due to arthritis. Besides this, these drugs have many other effects such as reducing fever, that is antipyretic, and preventing blood platelet coagulation. Nowadays, because of its anti-blood clotting action, aspirin is widely used to prevent heart attacks. Drawbacks. Despite its popularity, aspirin is supposed to be toxic to liver. It sometimes also causes bleeding from the stomach and is thus a gastric irritant. Because of these defects, other analgesics like naproxen, ibuprofen, diclofenac sodium or potassium are currently being used. In spite of these drawbacks, aspirin is still the drug of the choice for the prevention of heart attacks and reliever of anginal pains. You can see the structures of naproxen, ibuprofen and diclofenac sodium. Narcotic, that is addictive analgesics. Drugs which when administered in small dose relieve pain and produce sleep are called narcotics. However, in large doses they produce stupor, laziness, coma, convulsions and many complications ultimately cause death even. Most of these are obtained from opium papae and hence are called opiates. Opium contains alkaloids like morphine and codeine which are very much effective analgesics. Morphine diacetate, commonly known as heroin, is the most widely used analgesics. These are chiefly used for the relief of post-operative pain, cardiac pain, and pains of terminal cancer and in childbirth. These are the structures: morphine, heroin, and codeine. You can see the difference in this, that compare the structures of morphine and heroin. You can find here there is OH, OH, while in case of heroin it is OAC, OAC. So heroin is actually diacetate version of morphine. Check it. And the comparison with morphine and codeine is only difference you can find OH and OCH3. So it's a methyl ether of morphine. However, these alkaloids are known to be habit forming. Therefore, to guard against addiction and misuse, these alkaloids are not sold without proper prescription. Antimicrobials. Drugs used to cure diseases caused by microbes or microorganisms such as bacteria, viruses, fungi, etc. are called antimicrobials. These includes antibacterials, antifungal and antiviral agents. Discovery of antibacterials. In 19th century, the German bacteriologist Paul Ehrlich floated the idea that such chemicals which would adversely affect the invading bacteria but not the host cells, man or animal, can be used for the treatment of diseases caused by bacteria. In search of such compounds, he investigated many arsenic containing compounds and ultimately developed the medicine arsphenamine called salvarsan for the treatment of syphilis. This was the first treatment discovered for syphilis. For this discovery, Paul Ehrlich got Nobel Prize for Medicine in 1908. Although salvarsan is toxic to human beings, its effect on bacteria, spirochete, which causes syphilis, is much more greater than on human beings. Therefore, it was used for the treatment of syphilis. So definitely it has a toxic effect on human cells, but the toxic effect on spirochete bacteria is way much more, so it can be used for the treatment of syphilis. So side effect on human cells will be less as compared to the appropriate effect on the spirochete bacteria. At the same time, Ehrlich was working on azodies. He noted the similarity in the structure between salvarsan and azodies. Whereas salvarsan contains AS double bond AS linkage, azodies contain N double bond N linkage. He also observed that tissues are colored by dyes selectively. Therefore, he started to search for the compounds resembling in structure to azodie and selectively binding to bacteria. Thus, in 1932, he succeeded in preparing the first effective antibacterial agent, Prontosil, which resembles in structure to the compound salvarsan. Soon it was discovered that in the body, Prontosil is converted to a compound called sulfanylamide, which is the real active compound for the treatment, which can be called a lead compound. This prompted the chemist to study the relationship between structure and activity. It was discovered that the structure of prontosil molecule shown in the box, that is para-aminobenzene sulfonamide, also called sulfanylamide, has antibacterial activity. In this way, sulfa drugs were discovered. So, sulfanylamide is a lead compound which is responsible to have an activity over the bacteria. Now you can see the structure of salvarsan and azodie. You can find the similarity that in salvarsan AS double bond AS linkage is there, while in azodie N double bond N linkage is there. Now you look at the structure of prontosil, in which you can find the box region which has sulfanylamide structure, which is forming an azo group with the left hand side moiety. So sulfanylamide is going to be the lead compound. Control of microbial diseases. All antimicrobial controls the microbial diseases in the following three ways. By using a bactericidal drug, so drug which kills the organisms in the body. By using a bacteriostatic drug, that drug which inhibit or arrest the growth of microorganisms. By increasing the immunity and resistance of the body to the infections. So by these three mechanisms we can control the microbial disease. Some important antibacterial drugs are antibiotics and sulfa drugs. Antibiotics. Antibiotics, anti means against and biotic means life, are the class of drugs used as antimicrobials. There are chemical substances which are produced by some microorganisms, maybe bacteria, fungi, mold, etc., and can be used to either inhibit the growth or even kill other microorganisms which cause the infections. Thus, antibiotic therapy is like using one thief against another. But development of systematic methods over the recent past, however, have resulted in the modification of this definition. Antibiotics are now defined as chemical substances produced wholly or partially by chemical synthesis, which in low concentration either kill or inhibit the growth of microorganisms by intervening in their metabolic processes. The first antibiotic penicillin obtained from the mold Penicillium notatum was discovered by Alexander Fleming in 1929. Isolation and purification of active compound to accumulate sufficient material for the clinical trials took 13 years. The industrial production of penicillin involves the development of large-scale fermentation technique. The original microbial strain Penicillium notatum used by Fleming, however, gives very poor yield of penicillin in industry. Therefore, another microbial strain, Chrysogenum, and its mutant is used in commercial production. So far, at least 6 natural penicillins have been isolated. So, nowadays, Chrysogenum and its mutant are used, not directly the original one, Penicillium notatum. So, this is the general structure of penicillin. So, you can say uh, it has this CONN, so it is actually a structure that is a lactam. I hope you can understand. Cyclic amide is there, and cyclic amide compounds are called lactams, and these are which is responsible for variation in the different penicillins. Like if R equals to benzyl group, it is called benzyl penicillin or called penicillin G. If R is C6H5OCH2, it is called penicillin V. In India, penicillin is manufactured at Hindustan Antibiotics in Pimpri near Pune and at Indian Drugs and Pharmaceuticals, Rishikesh. Types of antibiotics. The antibiotics can be either bactericidal or bacteriostatic. Bactericidal can have examples like penicillin, aminoglycosides, that is streptomycin, ofloxacin, while bacteriostatic can be erythromycin, tetracycline, chloramphenicol. Another widely used antibiotic is cephalosporin, which is isolated from the species Cephalosporium. Both penicillin and cephalosporin are commonly referred to as beta-lactam antibiotics. Just now we have seen the structure. It has cyclic amide group. The full range of microorganisms attacked by an antibiotic is called its spectrum. Broad spectrum antibiotics are effective against several different types of harmful bacteria. For example, tetracycline, vancomycin, ofloxacin, and a mixture of potent antibiotics. Chloramphenicol is another broad spectrum antibiotics isolated in 1947. It is rapidly absorbed from the gastrointestinal tract and hence can be given orally in case of typhoid, dysentery, acute fever, and certain forms of urinary infections, meningitis, and pneumonia also. Certain antibiotics are specific for certain disease. For example, streptomycin for tuberculosis, chloramphenicol for typhoid and pneumonia, and Desidezirin is supported to be toxic towards certain strains of cancer cells. Penicillin has a narrow spectrum and is effective only against diseases and some gram-positive bacteria. However, some persons have allergy to penicillin, hence it is absolutely essential to test the sensitivity of the patient by giving a test dose before giving the full dose. So these are the structures of chloramphenicol and ofloxacin. Some semi-synthetic modification of penicillin are now known of each ampicillin and amoxicillin are very common. Antiseptic and disinfectants. Antiseptics are the chemical substances which prevent the growth of the microorganisms and may even kill them. They are safe to be applied to living tissues. They are not ingested like antibiotics. Thus, they are generally applied on the wounds, cuts, ulcers, and diseased skin surfaces in the form of antiseptic creams like furacin and soframycin. Antiseptics are also added to face powders, breath purifiers, etc. to reduce the odor produced as a result of bacterial decomposition of organic matter on the body or in the mouth. Disinfectants are chemical substances which kill microorganisms but are not safe to be applied to the living tissues. These are generally used to kill the microorganisms present in the drains, toilets, floors, etc. The same substance can act as antiseptic as well as disinfectant depending upon the concentration if used in solution form. For example, 0.2% solution of phenol acts as antiseptic whereas 1% solution acts as disinfectant. So lower concentration can work as antiseptic, higher concentration can work as disinfectant. Similarly, a low concentration of SO2 is used for sterilizing squashes for preservation, but high concentration of the gas can be used as disinfectant for living rooms when infected with bacteria and disease-carrying germs. A few more examples of disinfectants and antiseptics used in our everyday life are a low concentration of chlorine, 0.2 to zero point 0.4 parts per million, is used for sterilization of water to make it fit for drinking purposes. Dettol, which is well-known antiseptic, is a mixture of chloroxylenol and alpha-terpineol in a suitable solvent. So you will remember that Dettol is a mixture of chloroxylenol and alpha-terpineol. Both the structures are there in front of you. Savlon is another well-known antiseptic. It is a solution of chlorhexidine gluconate in a suitable solvent. Bithionol or bithionol is another well-known antiseptic which is added to good quality soaps to reduce the odors produced by bacterial decomposition of organic matter in skin. The structure of bithionol and bithionol both are the same. Iodine is a powerful antiseptic. It is used as a tincture of iodine, that is 2 to 3% solution of iodine in alcohol and water. It is applied on wounds. Iodoform CHI3, which produces iodine on coming in contact with skin, is also used as antiseptic powder for wounds. Some organic dyes are also effective antiseptics and are used for the treatment of infectious diseases. For example, two well-known antiseptic dyes are gentian violet and methylene blue. Boric acid in form of dilute aqueous solution is a mild antiseptic and is used for eyes wash. It also forms part of antiseptic baby powders. Hydrogen peroxide is also used as an antiseptic under the name of perhydrol for washing wounds, teeth and ears. Salol phenyl salicylate is used as intestinal antiseptic for throat ailments. Mercurochrome solution 2 to 5% is used as an antiseptic for skin, mucous surfaces and wounds. A solution of cresols, orthometa methylphenols, is a soapy water and is called lysol and is used as a disinfectant. Anti-fertility drugs. The antibiotic revolution has provided long and healthy life to people. In fact, life expectancy has almost doubled. This has increased the population and has caused many social problems like shortage of food resources, environmental pollution, unemployment, and so many more. To check these problems, population need to be controlled. This has introduced the concept of family planning. Anti-fertility drugs are used to control population and related issues. Chemical substances which are used to check the pregnancy in women are called anti-fertility drugs or birth control pills or oral contraceptives. These control the female menstrual cycle and ovulation. All these drugs contain chemicals related to female sex hormones having a steroid ring structure. Most of these contain a combination of a synthetic estrogens and a progesterone derivative which are more potent than the natural hormones. It is known that estrogens control the menstrual cycle while progesterone suppresses ovulation. Some of the commonly used pills contain a mixture of norethindrone, a progesterone derivative, and novestrol or ethinyl estradiol, an estrogen derivative. All such drugs are expected to have side effects and hence should be used only proper medical advice.